The energy they stole to elevate themselves is now being returned to elevate you, not as revenge, but as a testament to God's unwavering justice and love. Their loss isn't random, it is the natural consequence of building on a foundation of lies. What is happening isn't destruction for its own sake, it is a divine cleansing. God is stripping away what was wrongfully built and restoring order, ensuring that your purpose and destiny shine through. Their empire was always an illusion, a house of cards destined to fall. Meanwhile, your true foundation is being rebuilt, stronger and more enduring, with God Himself orchestrating every step. As their false structures crumble, reflect on this. How does it feel to see God restoring what was stolen stronger, purer, and more abundant than ever? Can you sense how this divine recalibration isn't just about recovering what you lost, but about revealing who you are becoming? Their downfall isn't just the end of their deception, it is the unveiling of your wholeness. With every piece of your identity restored, you are stepping into the life you were always meant to lead, a life of purpose, strength, and divine favor. God's work in your life goes far beyond reclaiming what was taken. It's about positioning you for what's next, refining you to be stronger and more complete than ever before. Their collapse will not go unnoticed. It will not fade quietly into the background. Instead, it will be loud, undeniable, and witnessed by all. The spotlight they once used to showcase their fabricated greatness, fueled by stolen energy and false narratives, will now illuminate their downfall. Everything they manipulated to construct their illusion of power is being exposed for what it truly was, a fragile facade built on deceit. For years, they wore masks of authority and control, parading their false achievements and soaking in the admiration of others. But as Luke 12 verse 2 reminds us, there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. The truth, relentless and uncompromising, is breaking through, refusing to be ignored. Picture the irony: the same stage they used to display their so-called greatness will now serve as the platform of their exposure. What they worked tirelessly to keep in the shadows, the lies, the manipulation, the betrayal, is being brought into the light for all to see. This is not about humiliation, it's about revelation. God's justice, much like His truth, does not operate in silence when it has been long overdue. Just as Haman's gallows in Esther 7 verse 10 became the instrument of his downfall, so too will their empire collapse under the weight of their deceit. Their carefully constructed illusion, fueled by stolen energy, will unravel in a dramatic display, leaving no doubt in anyone's mind about the truth. Their rise was a facade, their fall will be a divine spectacle, a clear and undeniable declaration that justice has been served. Now, as you watch their empire crumble, take a moment to embrace the power of your own restoration. The divine recalibration isn't just about removing what was wrong, it's about building something greater, something lasting, something wholly yours. This is your moment to rise. Have you noticed how quickly false narratives unravel when the truth finally emerges? Their downfall isn't just a private reckoning, it's a public spectacle that forces even their staunchest supporters to question everything they once believed. Those who once admired them are now stepping back, realizing they were unwitting participants in a grand deception. Their carefully constructed reputation, their curated legacy, their facade of power, it's all crumbling under the weight of truth. This isn't about vengeance, it's about revelation. Proverbs 19 verse 5 reminds us a false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will not go free. Their collapse isn't merely poetic justice, it's divine intervention. A vivid reminder of a universal truth: lies can only persist for so long before reality dismantles them. And when the truth finally breaks through, it shines with a brilliance no illusion can match. Can you see how their fall is more than just a personal reckoning? It's a restoration of balance, a cosmic realignment where authenticity triumphs over deception. Their ruin stands as a powerful testament, a warning to the world that anything built on falsehood is doomed to fail. Their spectacle of collapse isn't just the end of their empire, it's the vindication of truth and the beginning of something new, something unshakable for you. Your energy wasn't just powerful, it was sacred. It carried within it the capacity to heal, to uplift, to inspire transformation not just for you, but for anyone willing to honor and embrace it. It was a divine gift, capable of unlocking doors to spiritual growth and deeper understanding. Had they approached it with grace, humility, and reverence, they might have found paths to redemption and elevation they could never have imagined. But instead of aligning with this higher purpose, they chose greed, manipulation, and theft. They saw your light, and instead of respecting it, they tried to take it for themselves, to claim it as their own. Their choice echoes the tragedy of Esau in Genesis 25 verses 29-34, who sold his birthright for a fleeting moment of satisfaction. Like Esau, they traded something sacred and eternal for something temporary and shallow, sealing their own downfall. Your energy, much like a birthright, wasn't something they could steal without consequence. It was a sacred force meant to be honored, not exploited. If they had embraced it with reverence, it could have elevated them. Instead, they dismissed its divine nature, reducing it to a resource they could manipulate. In doing so, they not only rejected you, but also the very key to their own transformation. Their actions reveal a deeper tragedy, a refusal to grow. By exploiting what was meant to inspire and uplift, they rejected the opportunity to evolve. Their greed blinded them to the higher purpose your energy represented, leaving them stuck in the same cycles of stagnation they once tried to drag you into. Their shortcuts and schemes have backfired, widening the chasm between who they are and who they could have become. Their downfall isn't just a moment of justice, it's a profound lesson. It reveals the futility of trying to build on deception and stolen light. And as their empire collapses, it's not just about what they've lost. It's about what you're gaining: restoration, empowerment, and the return of your sacred energy, stronger and more radiant than ever. You are stepping into a new era, one where your authenticity is your unshakable foundation, and their collapse only serves to highlight your rise. Their downfall reveals a profound spiritual truth: redemption cannot be achieved through deceit. As Proverbs 14 verse 12 warns, there is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death. Every move they made to manipulate and control only distanced them further from their true potential. They didn't just lose your energy, they forfeited their own opportunity for spiritual growth. Their theft wasn't merely an act of taking, it was an act of rejecting the very grace that could have transformed them. Your energy was more than something they exploited, it was a guiding light, a potential bridge to a higher calling. But they failed to recognize this. Instead of seeing it as an invitation to change, they saw it as a resource to exploit. Now, as divine justice takes its course, they are left with nothing but the emptiness of their own making. Isaiah 59 verse 2 declares, "Your iniquities have separated you from your God, your sins have hidden his face from you, so that he will not hear." They now confront the void they created, a space filled with regret, missed opportunities, and the stark realization of what they've lost. How does it feel to know that the energy they stole from you is returning not as it was, but stronger, purer, and more powerful? They once thrived, rising on the foundation of what wasn't theirs, but now, stripped of your energy, they are trapped in spiritual stagnation. They must face the consequences of their choices, not just the loss of their ill-gotten strength, but the loss of the path they could have walked had they chosen humility and alignment with truth. Their downfall is not just a loss for them, it's a powerful reminder for you. It highlights the sacredness of what you carry and the justice inherent in divine law. You were not just the source of their stolen strength, you were the opportunity they squandered. Now, as you reclaim what was always yours, their loss becomes a testament to the divine balance of justice and grace. Every milestone they flaunted, every triumph they celebrated, was built on borrowed energy and borrowed time. They treated your sacred essence as though it were infinite, as if it could be drained endlessly without consequence. They failed to understand a simple yet profound truth: energy, like justice, operates in cycles. It moves, it balances, and ultimately it returns to its rightful owner. For a time, they basked in the glow of their false success, their rise appearing unstoppable. The world applauded, and they reveled in the illusion of invincibility. Yet, as Proverbs 16:18 warns, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Their arrogance blinded them to the ticking clock of inevitability. They mistook their borrowed strength for permanence, failing to see the storm gathering on the horizon. Now the scales are tipping. Their empire, built on deceit and exploitation, is collapsing, and with every piece that falls, your power grows. Their pride, their confidence, their illusions, these were not signs of strength but of impending ruin. Their story is no longer one of triumph but of caution, a reminder that what is stolen cannot sustain, and what is false cannot endure. As your energy returns to you, it doesn't just restore what was lost, it elevates you. You stand now as a beacon of divine justice and grace, stronger and more radiant than ever before. Their downfall is not just the end of their illusions, it's the beginning of your ascension. The clock they built with stolen energy has struck zero. The facade they so carefully crafted is collapsing under the weight of its own falsehood. They failed to realize a profound truth: nothing built on theft or deceit can endure. The energy they exploited wasn't just a resource, it was a divine gift with a sacred purpose. Like the unfaithful servant in Matthew 25 verses 14-30, who squandered his talent and lost even what little he had, their misuse of what was never theirs to keep has led to its return. Can you see it now? The power they took from you is returning, leaving them with nothing but the hollow echoes of their fleeting victories. Their so-called success was never real, it was an illusion, a fragile high built on the lie that they could take without consequence. They reveled in their false achievements, believing their empire would stand forever. But they ignored a critical truth: the foundation wasn't theirs, it was yours. Now, as that stolen energy returns to its rightful place, their empire crumbles not because of bad luck or outside forces, but because stolen energy cannot sustain a legacy. Every temporary win they flaunted serves as a stark reminder that nothing false can last. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 17 assures us, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. That time has come, and their reckoning is inescapable. What they mistook for permanent power was always destined to fade. Their collapse isn't just inevitable, it's revelatory. It exposes the fragility of anything built on lies and exploitation. Their fleeting success is being swept away by the very energy they tried to control, and as their empire dissolves, you rise. The energy that once fueled their temporary power is now flowing back to you, not just restoring what was lost but amplifying it, bringing you renewed purpose, strength, and clarity. Their downfall is not merely their loss, it's your liberation. It's a testament to the unshakable truth that stolen energy always returns to its rightful owner, and what is built on lies will always crumble. This moment isn't about vengeance, it's about revelation. As one of God's chosen, you weren't meant to seek revenge or act in bitterness. Instead, you were called to witness this, to observe the unveiling of divine justice at work. What you're seeing isn't just punishment, it's the manifestation of eternal truth. Nothing built on deception can stand against the light of authenticity. Consider the story of Joseph in Genesis 50 verse 20, who told his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Like Joseph, you're witnessing how what was meant to harm you is now a testament to God's power and purpose. Their empire, built on deceit and manipulation, was always unsustainable. It was never designed to withstand the weight of truth, and now that truth has revealed their weakness for all to see. What they took from you was never just energy, it was your sacred essence, a force imbued with divine purpose. They treated it as a commodity, failing to understand its sanctity. But here's the miracle: what was stolen is not just being restored, it's returning stronger than ever, refined by the fires of injustice and tempered by the grace of God. Their fall is not just about their downfall, it's about your ascension. It's a testament to the unstoppable force of truth and the enduring strength of divine justice. So how does it feel to reclaim what was always yours? To see their empire of lies crumble while you rise, unshaken, on the foundation of authenticity and purpose. This moment is a reminder that while lies may prosper for a time, they cannot endure. And as their falsehoods fade into obscurity, your truth is stepping boldly into the light. The energy they misused is now elevating you, carrying you to heights they could never imagine. This is not the end of their story, it's the beginning of yours. The empire they built is collapsing under the weight of its own falseness, and you were never meant to be a passive observer in this divine reckoning. Your role in witnessing their fall isn't about seeking entertainment or revenge, it's about understanding the profound workings of divine justice. You are part of a cosmic balance, ensuring that no lie or manipulation can stand forever. The energy, the truth, and the resilience you've carried have contributed to the great correction taking place now. Do you see it? Your journey has aligned perfectly with this moment, not just as a witness, but as a catalyst for divine justice. This reckoning is not something to fear or resent. Instead, it is confirmation of the path you've walked, the path that has shaped you, even through its challenges and hardships. Psalm 37 verse 34 says, "Wait for the Lord, and keep his way, he will exalt you to inherit the land when the wicked are destroyed." You were always meant to see this moment unfold, not to revel in their downfall, but to witness the restoration of balance and truth. Their collapse is not cruelty, it is a demonstration that manipulation and theft can never sustain true power. As their false empire crumbles, your ascension is intricately linked to the rise of truth. This is not just a spectacle, it's a pivotal moment in your personal journey. It's a divine affirmation that the struggles you've faced, though difficult, have always led to the highest truth. Their fall proves that the universe, governed by divine law, always restores balance in the end. You were chosen to witness this not as a punishment for them, but as confirmation of your purpose. So as you stand in this moment of revelation, ask yourself, how does it feel to see the justice you longed for unfold so clearly? Can you see how your trials have prepared you for this moment, allowing you to understand and appreciate the truth in a way that others cannot? Their fall isn't just about their end, it marks the beginning of your new chapter. Walking in alignment with divine law doesn't just lead to survival, it leads to ascension. This is your moment of confirmation, a testament to the unshakable power of truth and the divine plan that has guided you all along. The energy they stole from you isn't simply returning, it's coming back, transformed, refined, and more powerful than ever. Like raw material shaped in the crucible of fire, every ounce of energy they drained from you has been purified through the trials it endured. What they took for their selfish purposes has only been fortified by the hardships it survived, becoming a force they could never have anticipated. And now this energy is returning to you, not as it once was, but as an unstoppable, elevated version of itself. This mirrors the promise in Isaiah 61 verse 3, where God bestows a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. The energy you lost is returning, now infused with renewed purpose. Every struggle, every moment of pain they caused has refined this energy into something far greater than before. They saw your energy as a finite resource, something they could exhaust for their own gain. But they failed to understand its divine nature. Like God's grace, it's not static, it carries the imprint of its journey. Think about Joseph's story in Genesis. His brothers thought they could rob him of his potential by selling him into slavery. But through the trials he endured, Joseph emerged stronger and more powerful, eventually rising to a position they could never have imagined. Genesis 50 verse 20 declares, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Similarly, what they thought would deplete you has done the opposite. Their attempts to weaken you have forged a power within you that is unstoppable. Your stolen energy has been through its own crucible, and now it is returning to propel you to heights they could never fathom. What they thought would break you has become the very force that will elevate you to a place beyond their reach. Their manipulation has only made you stronger, and now you rise not just restored, but transformed. Now, with every ounce of energy they took, you stand unshakable, because that energy has been supercharged by the very struggles they created. The pain they inflicted upon you was never meant to break you, it was the fuel for your rise. Can you see how the trials they imposed upon you have become the very thing that propels you forward? Their exploitation wasn't the end of your story, it was the catalyst for your transformation. The energy that was once stolen from you has now returned, but it is no longer the same, it is amplified, refined, and elevated to a level of power and purpose that they can never comprehend. You are stepping into a new realm, one that was previously out of reach, and it's a place where your true potential will be realized. The hardships you endured, the battles you fought, were not in vain. They were the refining fire that prepared you for this very moment. As Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. The pain they caused you, the suffering you experienced, it wasn't just something to endure. It was transformed into the catalyst for your ascension. What they meant for harm, God has used to push you higher, to prepare you for a destiny that is now unfolding in front of you. This returned energy is not simply a restoration, it's an amplification of who you were always meant to be. They thought they were using you, manipulating your essence for their gain. But the truth is, they played a vital role in your process of becoming unstoppable. Every ounce of energy they mishandled has now become your greatest asset. And with this newfound power, you are rising to a level they will never reach, a place they can never touch. It is a level that is uniquely yours, a place where purpose and strength converge in ways that leave their false empire in the dust. So let me ask you, how does it feel to know that every hardship you faced has not only been redeemed but has been transformed into a source of strength? Can you see the divine symmetry in how their attempts to diminish you have only empowered you with this elevated energy? You are stepping into your true purpose with a force that is incomprehensible to them. Every attempt to break you has instead made you stronger, and now they are left to witness a power they unknowingly helped create. This isn't just restoration, it's triumph. They claim to be builders, self-made architects of their success, but in truth, they were never builders at all. They were thieves. Every brick in the empire they flaunted, every milestone they paraded, was built not by their ingenuity, hard work, or brilliance, but by the energy, time, and essence they took from you. They projected an image of power and achievement, parading themselves as self-made successes, while behind the curtain was a hollow foundation, a structure held up only by the stolen energy they harvested from you. Without the energy they siphoned from your being, their rise would have been impossible. What they called an empire was never truly theirs. It was borrowed, stolen, fragile, a facade that could only stand as long as they continued to extract from you. Proverbs 21 verse 6 reminds us, "A fortune made by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor, and a deadly snare the empire they built on lies, deception, and stolen energy was always destined to fail. It lacked authenticity and integrity." And now, as God's justice unfolds, the truth is no longer hidden, it is being exposed for what it truly was, a house of cards built on deceit. Their collapse is not a random misfortune, nor is it chaos. It is a divine revelation, a testament to the fact that nothing built on falsehood and stolen power can endure. What they once saw as success, they now see slipping through their fingers. Their facade of hard work, ingenuity, and self-made success is crumbling, revealing the hollow foundation beneath. They are not just losing material possessions, money, or status, they are losing their very identity. The identity they crafted for themselves based on lies is now falling apart. Their so-called empire, which they built on stolen energy and falsehoods, is now disintegrating because it was never built on solid ground. Consider the parable of the wise and foolish builders from Matthew 7 verse 24 to 27. The wise man built his house on rock, and when the storm came, it stood firm. But the foolish man built his house on sand, and when the storm came, it collapsed. What they built was not built on solid ground, but on the shifting sands of deceit and manipulation. The storm of truth is here, and it is revealing what was always destined to fall. Their empire based on falsehood is crumbling under the weight of its own emptiness. The irony is striking. They thought they could steal from you without consequence. They thought they could extract your energy and use it to build their false empire. But now, that stolen energy is returning to you, transformed and more powerful than ever. The very force they misused to elevate themselves has become the power that will elevate you. The tables have turned, and now you stand on solid ground, empowered, elevated, and destined for greatness. Their collapse is not a failure of the universe, it's a reminder of the divine law that what is built on lies cannot last. Your energy was never meant to be drained by them, it was meant to fuel your rise. And now, as they watch their empire fall, you rise, not just restored but elevated to heights they never dreamed possible. This moment is not about vengeance, it's about divine justice. It's about witnessing the undeniable power of truth at work, and knowing that everything you've endured has led you to this pivotal moment. Every hardship, every struggle, every moment of pain, they have all worked together to refine you, to purify the energy that was once stolen from you, and to transform it into a power they can never understand. And now, that power is yours to claim, as you rise to a level of purpose and strength they can never reach. The parable of the wise and foolish builders in Matthew 7 verses 24-27 illustrates an undeniable truth. One builder constructed his house on solid rock, while the other built on shifting sand. When the storms arrived, the house on sand collapsed because its foundation was weak. This same principle applies to the empire of deceit and manipulation that has come crashing down before us. What they thought was unshakable was always built on falsehood, and now the inevitable storm of truth is dismantling it, piece by piece. Their downfall is not about revenge, but about exposing the fraud they have lived by. They never built anything real, they constructed their so-called success on stolen energy, fueled by manipulation and false narratives. They mistook your light for their own, believing they could take from you with no consequences. But God's divine justice, much like the energy that flows through the universe, always restores balance. What they took from you is now returning, stronger, purer, and more powerful than it ever was before. Isaiah 61 verse 7 promises that, instead of your shame you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace you will rejoice in your inheritance. The energy they used to elevate their false rise is now the very force that will propel you to unimaginable heights. This isn't just the end of their empire, it's the beginning of your rise. You are not witnessing their collapse out of spite, but as part of a divine plan to restore what was unjustly taken from you. Their downfall serves as undeniable proof that God's law cannot be defied forever. You were chosen to witness this moment not just as an observer, but as an active participant in the unfolding of divine justice. Every lie they told, every moment of manipulation, every false narrative they spun, is now unraveling before our eyes, exposing the truth for all to see. Their so-called success was always a fleeting illusion, a temporary high built on borrowed energy. And now, as it all crumbles, you are stepping into a new chapter, one founded on truth, authenticity, and divine restoration. Their empire, hollow at its core, is falling apart because it was never built on a solid foundation. The collapse of their empire marks the beginning of your rise to the heights they could never have dreamed of. Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us that, in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. As their world disintegrates, yours is being rebuilt not on theft or falsehood, but on the unshakable foundation of your truth and God's grace. This isn't the end for you, it's the beginning of something unstoppable. The energy they tried to control is now the very force that will elevate you to unimaginable heights. They were never builders, they were thieves, and now their emptiness is exposed for all to see. Their fall is your rise. What was once stolen from you is now the cornerstone of your destiny. God's chosen ones, take heart. Stand firm in His promises, for what was taken from you, what was unfairly used to build their false empire with your energy, your blessings, and your divine gifts, is now being brought to ruin by the mighty hand of God. The stolen energy they used to fuel their schemes was never truly theirs to keep. God's justice is dismantling every plot, every structure, every scheme created to harm you. He is restoring you not just to where you were, but to a place of greater strength, deeper peace, and an abundance that reflects His glory. This is your season of restoration, renewal, and victory. God is not merely leveling the playing field, He is elevating you to the heights where you truly belong. Trust in Him, for the battle has always been His, and the triumph is yours. If this message has touched your heart or encouraged you, I invite you to support this ministry through a super thanks. Your generosity allows us to continue sharing hope and light with others around the world. Whether you feel led to donate or not, I want you to know how deeply I appreciate you. Your presence here is a blessing, and I'm so grateful for your prayers, support, and encouragement. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a powerful word of encouragement. Share this message with anyone who might need God's truth and love today. We would love to hear from you. Drop a comment and share how this message resonated with you. As you go about your day, may God's favor be upon you. May His peace fill your heart, and may His love guide every step you take. Remember, you are chosen, you are loved, and you are protected. Stay strong, stay faithful, and continue to shine His light wherever you go. God bless you abundantly.